Module 6 is on team and pay. So this part's quite straightforward. So we touched on a number of them, a number of aspects of how this gets collated. It's built from team schedules and also the chatter sales. And so a major headache for most agencies is having to then organize and understand what the pay is for each of your team members. It's calculating the commissions, and everybody could be on different commissions. Everybody's on different salaries, different members of the team, not just chatters. You've got VAs, you've got team leaders and quality controllers. And so what you want to be doing here is just making this as simple as possible. So if you think back to how we were setting up our table before, you've got your schedules and your daily sales. Those two things combined will dictate what you should be paying your team. And so if we just have a quick recap, remember within each of these shifts, this is one shift here, you'll see that the hourly cost and the hours are multiplied to be the hourly wage if the person is on an hourly pay, which is dictated by how you set it up here in team, hourly and commission. And after that, you've then got chatter sales, where your commission is being calculated here on the back of the net income or net sales. That commission is then being calculated, attributed to the chatter here, and then that needs to be surmised. And so what we do is, this is the grid view. So if you remember, the grid view includes everything. We never hide or filter anything in grid view. And if we do, we clear it up afterwards. So what we do here is we leave the team views because that's not what we're looking at, and we go to payments. So I've created here week 20 and week 21 payments, and we can create week 22 together. So what we do is we create these views, and we filter and hide things that we don't want, that are not relevant to anything else other than the week 20 pay. So we have all of the chatters here. We then have the shifts, number of shifts that they've done, the wage, if they are on a wage, the commission that's attributable to them as a chatter, and then their total pay, which is this plus this. And then we have their net sales and then average shift earnings, which is their net sales divided by the number of shifts, just to see the performance. And we can then pull this data into our interfaces to see what it looks like on a dashboard. And it's easy to see who's actually performing here. So in week 20, these 8 chatters produced $25,000 of net sales. Now we need to pay them for it. And so this wage here is a roll-up of the team schedules, and it's looking for anything that's under the column hourly wage, where the week is equal to week 20, because this is week 20 pay. The status is complete because we don't want to pay them for anything pending. But if we're looking at this retrospectively, there should be nothing that is incomplete or pending, because it's now week 23 or 24 that you're doing this. And then we're saying sum the hourly wage subject to these restraints and these conditions. And so that will look at, like I said, so if we press save, we go to team schedules and you say grid view. Oh, we're looking here at hourly wage. It says add this up, and it's going to be filtering on the chatter here, subject to the number there. And it's saying that look for the week that we just spoke about. So if I then go to the week 20 commission, it's saying roll up. And the way that the roll ups work, and this is basically how Airtable works, we basically, every time, if I add in a chatter here, chatter 1, team here, it's going to add that to this form here. So this will be all of the different results that are related to chatter 1. All the different sales. And so this needs to be there, because if you delete this, you'll remove the connection between team, this chatter, and this chatter sales table. And if you delete this column, you'll remove the connection between this chatter 1 and team schedule. So you need to have these in here always. We go back to week 20 pay. Again, it's adding up the commissions, daily chatter sales. In here, looking at chatter's commissions, the constraint is week 20 because it's week 20 pay. And we're saying add it up. So as long as you've got the chatters set up here and they are linked correctly under the employee, then this will look up the wage and the commission automatically. It's as easy as that. So super nice and super straightforward. So what we want to do now is we want to create week 22. So week 21, same thing. Right now it's just looking up to week 21 complete and sum, and then the commissions, it's looking up week 21 chatter commission sum, and week 21 pay is adding week 21 wage plus week 21 commissions, and then you got week 21 pay. Super easy. So now we're going to duplicate that view, and we're going to call it week 22 pay. Then in grid view, we're going to go and we're going to duplicate the week 21, and then we're going to basically look for them here. So duplicate week 21 shifts. We're going to then remove that and change it to week 22 shifts, and change that to week 22. And if you, the formula here is a little bit complicated, but it's counting all of the different values which are unique in the date column. So it will count if there's 5, if there could be loads of entries in the chatter sales for 1 day, but it just says how many unique days are there, and that counts as one shift. And then so we're then going to drag that to the end because it's starting afresh, and we're going to do week 21 wage, drag that to the end here, and we're going to call that week 22 wage. And then here we're going to say week 22 sum. Oh, we already did that. Okay. Then we do week 21 or 22 commission. So drag that there. Week 22 commission. Oh, we need to do week 23, don't we? Oh no, it's week 22, yeah. Save. You see it's already looking them up, so it's just super easy to do. And then we can say week 22 pay. So duplicate that, bring that across. Week 22, and then it's going to look up the week 22 column and that field too, and press save. And there we have it. Now we want to add in as well week 22 net sales, because we didn't do that yet. Duplicate field. Week 22, change that to week 22. And then there was one other one, which is average earnings. Week 22 average earnings. So we're just telling it to look up a different column. Save. And now when we go to week 22, which we created, we then choose what fields to hide and show. So I'm getting rid of all the 21 because we really don't care about that. And we just want to show week 22. And there we have it. And now we know we've got to pay 2885. And what was the previous week? Previous week pay was 2879, and week 20 week pay was 2644. So it's as easy as that. And as long as you put your team schedules in correctly and your chatters, add your chatter sales and they're checked, you just duplicate that view and then duplicate the columns and change them to the week that you need to look up, and change the columns to make sure it reflects the week. And you'll be able to have instant payments. So you could do this if you wanted to set up to get a VA or somebody in your team. Just do all of the weeks, right? It doesn't matter about the fields, because if you do that, you get rid of the views anyway. You could do week 20 to week 52 if you wanted to, and just prep it now. And then you'll have everything already, every week you just go in here and you just quickly have a look and your pay will be sorted. You never have to count anything. And so you just do this investment one time to do all 50 weeks or so. And then you can basically jump in here and just have a quick summation, and there's nothing you have to do. So incredibly easy if you set up your infrastructure in the right way, and you don't have to then focus any time on having to work out what the pay is. And what's better as well, and you can do this, again, this is sort of like a feature request, is that in the interfaces, what you can do is you can create an interface for Chatter1, and you can then say, it's going off topic slightly from the plan, but it doesn't matter, we've got list. So let's do list, and you can then say team, chatter sales, finish. So it's this easy. This is how easy it is to create your stuff here. List options, and we're going to say, yeah, I want to see chatter commission, chatter percentage, and these are all going to be the sales according to Chatter1. So specific records, add condition, and we're going to say team is exactly chatter1, and we want to see date is within the last week. So this is now showing all sales which are in the last week for chatter 7. Chatter 1, pardon me. So then if we just go here, we don't need to see the month or the week because we've got the date. And then it is super straightforward for a chatter to be able to say, right, okay, well, I can see exactly what the sales are and I know exactly what I should be paid. And so you then don't have to convince the chatter that you've got it right, because the chatter is basically set this up himself. Basically what he's being paid is what he's submitted and what you've checked. And so if the chatter forgets to submit sales, that's on them, yeah? Because you don't want to spend your time as a manager fucking around, essentially, pardon my language, trying to figure out if a chatter submitted their sales correctly. What they submit, it gets checked. The checker should be on, obviously, the side of the agency and the manager to make sure that they're not fiddling anything. And then you can basically pay them on the back of that. They say, hey, are my payments right? Well, you submitted the sales. We're paying on the basis of that. Now, almost always will we, and now we publish that, and we don't want to share that right now. And now we have this. So if you go to your dashboards, you now have chatter1 set up, and chatter1, you can share this with chatter1 and he only sees this. So he gets a quick view of what's going on for the last week. So you can just check his own sales as well. It's a key point because the chatter always wants to track their own sales as well. They're probably doing an Excel. You can now tell them to go here and they only see this. And so let's just have a quick look. That makes sense. Let's go back here. And so you want to be able to say to them, this is what you submitted. This is what we're going to pay you. And yeah, so almost in every single week that goes by, they will underrepresent their own sales by around 5 to 10% because they miss stuff. And at the end of the day, with all due respect, that's on them that they're missing that. And so it's a real easy win and super clean way of setting up your payment structure, so you don't have to faff around with sort of calculations or anything like that. It's the onus is on the chatter to submit their numbers, and from there you pay them out automatically. Now, another thing we can do is create a feature release later if people request it, where you can actually link this to Stripe. You can link this, you can integrate this stuff to do just an automatic spit out. If you've got, let's say, 50 chatters, you don't want to one by one go through here and say, right, I need to pay this on that, pay this on that. You can spit out sort of a Google Sheet, which can be submitted, an automatic trigger where you kick out on a Google Sheet, gets uploaded to your Revolut, and then from there you can automatically do payments, right? There's all sorts of extensions and automations and integrations that we can do here. So if you are an agency of that size, holler and we can build stuff subject to your requirements and everybody can benefit.